Talk tonight remains on President-elect Donald Trump and his plans for his first 100 days in office. Good evening, I'm Max Dieknight.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. Missouri's 4th District Representative Vicki Hartzler sat down with KOMU 8 to share her thoughts about the Trump presidency. KOMU 8's Kristen Reeser is here in the studio to tell us what she had to say.
Congresswoman Hartzler says she was encouraged by Trump and Obama's meeting Thursday. She thinks there will be a smooth transition of power from a Democratic president to a Republican. Hartzler was in Columbia today to attend a ceremony honoring Vietnam veterans. Before the ceremony, she told me how she feels about Trump winning the election.
I'm very excited to have a president in the White House who will actually support and sign the legislation that we send to him. In the House, we've been working on an agenda called A Better Way that will address the challenges our nation faces, including plans to how to get our economy growing again, have a strong national defense, how to replace Obamacare, tax reform.
Hartzler says she supports many of Trump's views, such as securing the Mexican border and vetting refugees from countries like Iraq and Syria to make sure no terrorists get into the country. In the studio, Kristen Reeser, KOMU 8 News.
A statement released by Donald Trump today said Vice President-elect Mike Pence will take over Trump's transition to the White House. Pence will take over for New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Among other transition team members are 3 of Trump's children, Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric. Trump said the team's goal is to put together the most highly qualified group of successful leaders to implement his agenda.
Here's what's happening right now. Anti-Trump protests are happening in cities across the country tonight. Many protesters refuse to accept his victory. Tonight marks the 3rd night of demonstrations. Students are gathering on college campuses and others are marching through city streets. Trump went on Twitter today dismissing what he calls professional protesters incited by the media, but hours later praised their passion. There have been sporadic small protests on the MU campus the past 2 days. Today there was activity at Speaker's Circle near the library, including someone burning a small American flag. This is video from MU student Kylie Smith. The man you see here was protesting Trump's election, carrying signs like Black Lives Matter and Your God is Not the Only God. Critics yelled it's wrong to burn a flag on Veterans Day. Other demonstrations called for an end to discrimination and hate.
Missouri's Secretary of State is taking a closer look at a petition that would significantly change Missouri's Constitution as it relates to voting. The petition calls for removing the line that indicates a candidate's party affiliation from the ballot completely. The second part of the amendment would institute a ranked choice system where voters would rank candidates in order of personal preference. Some lawmakers on both sides of the aisle appear to be against the petition. A local Republican Party official says he thinks frustrations over this year's election is behind this petition.
This is probably a natural reaction to our political election this November, where particularly the 2 governor candidates were maybe part of a different party in the past, and maybe not everybody within the party traditionally agreed with.
The chair of the Boone County Democratic Party says removing party affiliations from the ballot would be, quote, dangerous, as it is sometimes the only reliable information some voters know. We saw some pretty nice weather today. Let's send it over to Michael to see if it'll stick around.
Thanks, Max, and good evening, everyone. As he mentioned, a beautiful day out there for November 11th. We actually saw temperatures warm up into the 60s today as we take a look at our weather almanacs. A high of 62 degrees. Usually we're about at 56 degrees is what we're going to see tomorrow. But look at this. I wanted to point out 13 degrees is the record low for today. Nowhere near that, thank goodness. As we take a look at those temperature trends over again, temperatures around 60 degrees at 2 p.m. and right now in the mid 40s. And as we look in the overnight hours, a lot of deer hunters heading out tomorrow morning. We're actually going to see temperatures down in the 30s, which is very favorable for deer hunting. And as we look at the other big event tomorrow, the Mizzou football game, temperatures are going to warm up a little bit. Still highs right around 56 degrees around kickoff. By the end of the game, remember that early sunset around 5 p.m. is going to make it feel more like 46 degrees. So the coolest game of the year so far. Are those cool temperatures here to stay? Or are we in for a warm-up by next week? We'll take a look at your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Brandon Rapier is charged with a horrendous double murder in Jefferson City that happened earlier this week, but another woman says he's been violent for years. Susan Ludy says Rapier broke into his ex-girlfriend's house in 2012 and then apparently beat Ludy's son. She says Rapier then posted about the attack on Facebook, bragging about it. Ludy wishes the attack on her son was looked at a little bit more closely by police.
People need to take assault seriously. You know, when someone goes and assaults another human being, it needs to be looked at more than a slap on the wrist and telling somebody don't do that again. Because if they had taken the assault seriously, none of this would have happened.
KOMU 8 also reached out to the Jefferson City Police Department and the Cole County Prosecutor's Office about that accusation, but neither was available for comment today. Rapier was also convicted for stabbing a man 2 years ago.
Mid-Missouri law enforcement agencies hope to better prepare officers how to deal when someone has a mental illness. Officers from 11 different agencies gathered for training today. The 40-hour week-long program teaches officers how to successfully manage a crisis involving mental health, substance abuse, or something else.
It's given us the tools how to respond to that, how to provide services and not looking just to take people to jail. You know what I mean? There's so many more options in some of these situations.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness estimates 15% of men and 30% of women booked in jail have mental health problems.
Welcome Home Incorporated is hosting a casino night to raise money to expand services for homeless veterans in Columbia. KOMU 8's John Saltzman joins us live from the Elks Lodge where the event is underway.
Everyone's welcome to casino night tonight to enjoy food, drinks, and casino games until midnight. $50 at the door gets participants access to the casino tables, as well as unlimited access to the buffet and bar. The proceeds at tonight's event are donated to Welcome Home Incorporated to help fund the support of homeless veterans in Columbia. Executive Director of Welcome Home, Tim Rich, talked about what is expected at casino night.
We're hoping tonight to raise somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000. We've got about 150 to 200 people that are going to come out, play casino games just like you're in Vegas, and all for a good cause.
The money will go towards building a new facility next summer that will allow more veterans to find housing in Columbia. Reporting live in Columbia, John Saltzman, KOMU 8 News.
We'll tell you how businesses in Missouri are promising to help veterans find jobs.
Plus, the story of a Mid-Missouri woman who wrote a children's book about a World War II veteran.
Thousands of businesses in Missouri have pledged to help veterans find a place to work, and many of them are right here in Columbia. The Show Me Heroes program was launched back in 2010. Its goal was to encourage businesses to give veterans jobs and to help them get back on their feet sooner.
There aren't enough funds out there. There aren't enough programs out there. I mean, what I can do here as a local company in mid-Missouri, I'm very eager to do, and I wish it were more. It's not enough.
To see a map of the businesses who took the Show Me Heroes pledge, visit our website at KOMU.com.
Veterans Day is a time to celebrate service, but one Mid-Missouri veteran wasn't able to see the project he wanted to build. In Russellville, residents unveiled the Blue Star Memorial. The celebration comes a little more than a month after Russellville resident and former Air Force member Larry Crocker passed away at the age of 66. He had planned to be at the ceremony. A high school alum remembered Crocker.
And this veteran, over the years, had dedicated a lot of his time, a lot of his money to supporting this community and taking on various projects. Today we were able to use this event as a way to pay tribute to him and to also honor his wife, who was here as well.
Students at Russellville High School raised the money to build the marker.
No speeding, but later in the show, we'll tell you why your commute to work could get a little bit quicker.
And a veteran finally reunites with the plane he flew in World War II.
Welcome back to KOMU 8 News at 10. We're taking a look at the time lapse over Rocheport today for November 11th, 2016. A beautiful Veterans Day out there. You can see plenty of sunshine in the sky during the afternoon. A few more clouds began to build in by the late afternoon as we saw a very weak cold front push through, and that's why we're going to see very cool temperatures tonight, and we're already starting to feel that way as well. 44 degrees right now at 10:12 p.m. And looking at our forecast facts for the next few days, we're going to see very cool overnight temperatures tonight and Saturday night into Sunday as well, near the freezing mark. Chances for rain this week? Not much, not likely. We are going to see a little bit of a chance on Friday, but we are going to remain dry and very mild for this time of the year as well, and we're going to see a little bit of a November warm-up. Temperatures again, though, right now, 44 degrees in Columbia, 43 in Moberly, and 40 up in Hannibal up to the north. They're going to see temperatures get down right around 30 degrees tonight, and a lot of it has to do with the wind. Again, 9 miles an hour out of the north. Those eventually will shift out of the east by tomorrow morning. So if you are a deer hunter, wind's a big factor in that, and they are going to be very light by the time you head out tomorrow morning. You can see where that cold front passing through the area, just a little bit of extra cloud cover, and now high pressure is beginning to move into the area, and it's actually going to slide right over top of us by tomorrow morning and afternoon. We're just going to see clear, calm conditions, but a little cooler. And that's actually average for this time of year when you see those highs in the mid-50s. Again, how cold tomorrow morning? Around 32 degrees in Columbia, 31 up to the north. Actually is a freeze warning. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But afternoon highs only warming up into the mid-50s. And as I mentioned, that's average for this time of year. And with that early sunset, we are going to see cooler temperatures by around 6 o'clock or so. Sunday afternoon, we do warm up back near the 60-degree mark, so a little bit warmer of a day than we saw on Sunday. But lows Sunday morning are still back down into the 30s. But because of some southerly winds, we are going to warm up a little more on Sunday and Sunday afternoon as well. Again, a freeze warning is in effect for Randolph, Sheraton, and Macon County overnight tonight and into about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if you live in those counties, take precautions. Bring those plants in if you haven't already, because it's going to get cold tonight. And again, the game day forecast for tomorrow around kickoff time, temperatures are near 55 degrees. By the end of the game, we're back near 49 degrees because of that early sunset. It'll be the coolest day of the year, so make sure you bundle up for that Mizzou game against Vanderbilt tomorrow. Tonight, temperatures get down to 34 degrees, a very clear and chilly night. And again, that freeze warning is in effect for northern Missouri. And as we look at the forecast for tomorrow, we are only going to warm up to a high of 56, which is average for this time of year, but plenty of sunshine, though. It'll be a nice day, but just a very average November day out there. And again, those winds will be from the east, and they will be very light for any of you hunters out there. 3-day forecast, again, a high of 58 on Sunday. Monday, we are back into the 60s, and that'll be the fact for most of this week. 65 on Tuesday, 66 on Wednesday. We're back near 70 degrees by Thursday, but a front, again, moves through Friday. Only about a 20% chance for rain right now, but it'll kick us back into the mid-50s for next weekend.
34 at sunrise. The deer hunters will like that.
That's perfect. Light winds, frost, some freezing out there. Those deers will be running around for sure.
All right, Michael, thanks. Farrell Purdy is a 94-year-old who just wanted his lamp fixed. Michelle Spry is a business owner who wanted to know more about a veteran's hat. Neither knew they would end up in an airplane hangar months later. KOMU8's photojournalist Scott Schaefer shows us the bonding over an old piece of metal in a World War II love story more than 70 years in the making.
Chapter 3. One day, this young man walked through our business doors carrying his wife's broken lamp. He was wearing a very special baseball cap, and the baseball cap said Corsair on it. You guys know Disney planes? Yeah. This plane was used as inspiration to make Skipper.
We were turning into land yesterday, actually, to make the flyby, and it just gets you choked up that you realize that you're here. It's something that you don't get to do very often.
This is a F4U-1 Corsair, and it was delivered to the Navy on September 6, 1943.
There's nothing about the Corsair that good pilot technique can't handle.
Just flies really nice. It's a dream to fly.
This thing was built to be a pure fighter. Go out there and go dogfighting. Just the fact that we're able to bring it out here, Michelle was able to raise the funds. I mean, that's huge for us because we don't travel that far with our airplanes that often.
Hey Carter, said Jackson. I wrote a children's book about a World War II veteran. There was a pilot, and we take on a hero tour. So this is Mr. Purdy, and I asked him, Mr. Purdy, are you a veteran? And he said, I am a Marine fighter pilot from World War II. After the book was written, it really was more about his real story that sparked my interest.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Farrell A. Purdy.
I located an aircraft that he flew during World War II at Plains of Fame in Chino, California. Mr. Purdy could not fly because of health reasons, so the next big step was bringing the plane to him. Welcome! You did it! Hi, Corey! Oh my gosh! I cannot wait for you guys to get down. How are you? Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you.
And it's been 70 years since he saw it.
The first thing he's going to want to do is get up close to her and pat the belly, because that's what he's always talked about.
He's here at gate 1.
Hi! Are you excited to see this plane?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited because I'm able to be here in this seat.
It's very emotional, because I know Mr. Purdy is going to get to see an aircraft that he flew.
I see something back there.
They're getting the door open.
There I can see a Corsair.
Oh.
I can see Corsair. Yes, I can see that old Corsair. I saluted that plane. Looks familiar.
It's pretty neat, and you can kind of see that kid come out back into them, and they start remembering stuff and start remembering some of their friends and the time.
And here we are with a piece of metal here that can do anything that they wanted to do. And that's the way we flew it.
To see this aircraft come to Columbia to see him, it gives you goosebumps.
And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to see it again.
To be able to bring it to the veteran.
Hot diggity, we got them flaps down about 45 degrees.
That actually flew the airplane. Very special part of history.
How's everybody? How's everybody?
Good, how are you?
Pretty fair, pretty fair. Let me pat the belly. Push me up there. Woo. There we are.
That is a great story. Spry needed to raise $28,000 to get the aircraft to Columbia. Many groups like the Veterans United Foundation and others made it possible. What's better than one bridge opening? Two. You know where this story is headed.
And here's a look at your lottery numbers. Good luck. A commute to Jefferson City might not take as long starting on Monday. Crews started to reopen the westbound lanes of the Missouri River Bridge tonight. The lanes were closed earlier this year for painting and repairs, causing heavy traffic. MoDOT intended to open the bridge in August, but had to delay when crews found more structural repairs that needed to be done. The reopening is expected to last all weekend.
We will have that done Friday evening tonight, and then as soon as we get that done, we'll begin working on the eastbound bridge to restore it to its original configuration.
MoDOT says all lanes will be open by Monday at 6 a.m.
Jefferson City School Superintendent says he will not recommend buying land next to the current high school. The land would have been used for more space. The Board of Education is now considering a second high school to solve overcrowding. The superintendent says discussions with staff and community were the reasons behind his decision. 2 undefeated teams square off tonight in Wardsville. We've got highlights next in sports.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Happy Veterans Day to all those who serve. The district football playoffs are coming down to the finish, and we've still got a few mid-Missouri teams in the midst. Undefeated Blair Oak Falcons taking on McClure South Berkeley. The Falcons game plan all night. Running back Jake Van Ronselen was going to get it early and often. First quarter, he goes 20 yards to set up a field goal, 3-0 Falcons. But Berkeley would respond. This time, QB Tavian Willis takes it 5 yards. Get off me. All the way into the end zone. 5-yard touchdown. The Bulldogs go up 8-3 after a 2-point conversion. After an injury to Van Ronselen, this game went all Berkeley. Here it's Willis. He'll find Tyler Gish, takes it to the air, and he takes it from there. Off to the races, covers half the field. The Bulldogs go on to win this one 34-10 and end the Falcons' perfect season. The Missouri women's basketball team opened up its season tonight with a much higher expectation than their male counterparts, but the injury-plagued Tigers had their hands full tonight. The season opener for Missouri as the Tigers took on Abilene Christian. They also raised a banner for last year's NCAA tournament appearance. First half was all about Leanna Doty. She hits the three here. She finished with 10 points and 3 steals in the first half, but it wasn't easy for Robin Hinchton's Tigers. Tigers led 25-21. Here's the steal by Doty. Passes it up to Sarah Michaelis, finds Sophie Cunningham, but that's not going to work. Can't finish it off. She had a rough night shooting, just 3 for 11 from the field. Missouri was down 2 entering the fourth quarter. Sophie Cunningham would need her teammates to pick her up late. Sierra Porter finishes with a double-double. Nice finish there. Sierra Michaelis added 12 points as Missouri escapes with a 52-46 victory. On the heels of a Columbia College women's soccer AMC conference title, last night against Park, the men were right back in action tonight. The Cougars had a chance to win conference gold as they hosted Lyon College for the American Midwest Conference Championship. The Cougars hosting the Scots from Batesville, Arkansas. Lyon beat Columbia 1-0 back in October, trying to change the results here in the first half. Junior Nick Horn heads in the corner, kick to 5'11" senior Dan Riley, who's waiting in the far post, putting Columbia up 1-0 in the first as the fans loving it. Senior keeper Ian McTurk, all the way from Denmark, led the Cougars defense with a clean sheet until the final minutes of the game when it's Riley again. He bursts by the defender, finds Eden Campera, who gives it to Hickman High School's own Carter Cox for the clinching goal, just 2 minutes remaining. As the Cougars take a close win, 2-0, and take home the American Midwest Conference Championship to earn a spot in the NAIA tournament. In other local news, the Rockbridge Bruins boys season finally came to an end, unfortunately, to the Rockhurst 2-0 in the Class 4 semifinals. In Fenton, the Bruins will play Francis Howell North for third place tomorrow at 10 a.m. The Missouri football program hasn't lost 6 games in a row since 1995, and the Tigers' opponent, tomorrow Vanderbilt, have not been bullied by the rest of the SEC this season as they have been in previous years. This season, Vandy has played every SEC team on their schedule to within a touchdown and knocked off Georgia and Middle Tennessee State, who both topped Mizzou, if you'll remember earlier this year. Derek Mason and his defense have been the big story for the Commodores. So far, the Commodores have held SEC opponents to an average of only 17 points per game. Missouri quarterback Drew Lock says he knows even though it's been a tough season for the Tigers, the team needs to keep a positive outlook heading into the matchup.
And you don't want to go out on this Saturday and put on a bad show or whatnot, and just get slaughtered by whoever you're playing, because if you come in with that mindset, then that's what will happen, and that's not what we're going to do as a team. So.
The Mizzou women's team won their first regional championship in track in the past 12 years in Iowa City. Junior Carissa Schweitzer won the individual gold in the 6,000 meter run. Meanwhile, Jamie Kempfer, Nicole Mello, and Taylor Adelsberger finished in the top 25 to earn a spot in the NCAA All-Midwest Region team. And that'll do it for sports.
All right, listen up closely. Facebook users have been logging on to their accounts today to find out that the site thinks that you are dead. Any of the three of you? Have you? Yes?
Didn't happen to me.
Even CEO Mark Zuckerberg was declared dead by his own social network.
Oh, man.
Now, here you go. It appears there's a glitch. You think? Seriously, do you think? Facebook has yet to comment on the problem.
Oh, man. Some serious news. Now here's a look what we're following tomorrow morning for KOMU 8 News Today. The Missouri Cannabis Conference is tomorrow.
The future of medical marijuana in the state will be discussed.
It's going to be awfully chilly waking up tomorrow morning. Temperatures down near freezing, 34 degrees. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. We're going to warm up to a high of 56 degrees, which is average for this time of the year. Look at the rest of the weekend. Still very cool nights and cool mornings to start off Sunday. Sunday night into Monday morning is the first supermoon we'll be able to see here in Missouri since 1948. Won't happen again until 2034. And looking at the rest of the week, temperatures remain in the 60s, still above average for this time of year. Another chance for rain is Friday, and it'll cool our temperatures back into the 50s.
All right, enjoy the deer hunting, enjoy the football game tomorrow. That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.